Welcome to Teacher Liability Protection Act for South Gray USD 476 and USD 371. The Teacher Liability Protection Act ensures that teachers, principals, and school professionals can undertake reasonable actions to maintain order and discipline in the classroom without the fear of litigation. All certified school personnel are obligated to take necessary measures to ensure that the school environment is safe for students and conducive to student learning. Under in loco parentis, teachers are assigned 3 legal duties by the courts. The first legal duty assigned to teachers is to instruct. The second duty for teachers is to supervise. And the third duty under in loco parentis is to provide for the safety of the students. Some important components of this act include the following. Teachers are shielded from liability when they act within the scope of their employment and in accordance with acceptable federal, state, and local laws, including civil rights laws. Protections are extended not only to teachers, but also to administrators and school professionals, non-professional employees responsible for maintaining discipline or safety, and individual school members. Liability is limited unless a state specifically enacts overriding legislation or school law provides additional protection from liability. The ability of punitive and non-economic damages in lawsuits against teachers is limited, except in extreme circumstances of gross teacher misconduct. Limits to liability will only apply if a teacher is involved in misconduct such as violent crime, a sexual offense, violation of civil rights laws, or for misconduct that occurs while the educator is under the influence of drugs or alcohol. School districts, school officials, and teachers may incur liability for their tortious acts when these acts result in injury to students. A tort is an actionable or civil wrong committed against one person by another which is independent of contract. Some examples of intentional torts include assault, battery, defamation, false imprisonment, and trespass to personal property. Unintentional torts do not require such proof of intent or willfulness. In the case of intentional torts, negligence would be considered in an unintentional tort. The following gives you a school liability checklist to keep you safe. The first is for school personnel to exercise the same degree of care as a reasonably prudent parent in the supervision of students. Secondly, school personnel will be liable where they can reasonably be expected to foresee the potential danger of a situation resulting in injury to a student, regardless of whether they actually did or not. Next, a higher standard of care may be expected during activities with a higher foreseeable level of risk. These activities include field trips, excursions involving students, laboratories, physical education classes, and contact sports. Also, all school personnel have a responsibility to ensure that school buildings and grounds are safe for student use. Continuing on the school liability checklist, school officials should provide supervision for students on school grounds or at school-related activities before and after the school day. Unacceptable behavior by teachers and administrators should be clearly stated in school or district policy, with restrictions on any actions that may be considered assault and/or battery or intended to cause emotional harm, especially in cases involving physical punishment. Schools should also develop a culture and set of values that place a high premium on the respect for the dignity of every individual involved in the school community. They should also require workshops and seminars periodically to ensure that school personnel are aware of safety and liability issues that could arise. Continuing on with the school liability checklist, schools must also keep personal information regarding students confidential, except where sharing that information is required by law. However, school officials must operate in good faith with no intent to harm a student's reputation. Finally, Board of Education members may be held liable for their individual acts that result in the violation of a student's right. This has been Teacher Liability Protection for USD 476 and USD 371 South Gray.